Hello everyone, my name is Parker Orr, and in this presentation I'll be talking about Urban Outfitters Incorporated and the problem that, I believe, will leave the brand behind as we go into the future. So the problem with Urban Outfitters Incorporated, owners of Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie, and Free People, is in the way they present their company and the false image they've managed to build up over the years. What do I mean by that? Well, Urban presents themselves as a very progressive brand to attract progressive consumers, but their practices rarely align with their perceived values. Whether it's through the products they offer or the sustainability page on their website, Urban is obviously working to attract progressive customers. However, Urban and its brands are still fast fashion, and they need to be taken to task in the same way that brands like H&M and Zara are. According to goodonyou.org, quote, Urban Outfitters is doing very little to help the environment, its workers, or our animal friends. There is no evidence to suggest that its policies regarding labor and transparency in the supply chain are actually undertaken, unquote. Urban deserves the same criticisms that are being directed at other fast fashion brands. My proposed solution for Urban Outfitters Incorporated is simple to say, but very difficult to implement. Urban needs to live up to the image that they are falsely representing. First, this needs to start with sustainable sourcing and ethical production standards. While the company says they have a program in place to hold suppliers accountable for ethical production, the results of their audits aren't published, so there's no way to know if these suppliers are upholding standards or even subcontracting out the work. As recently as 2012, clothes being made for Urban Outfitters were discovered at a facility in the LA Fashion District that was cited for sweatshop conditions. Urban states that, quote, we have a manufacturer compliance program that is monitored on a regular basis by our buying offices. Our production facilities are either certified as in compliance with our program, or areas of improvement are identified and corrective follow-up action is taken, unquote. But these results aren't seen by the public, so there's very little evidence to support Urban's claims. Without transparent results, Urban will remain unaccountable for their actions and will likely continue with unsustainable and unethical practices. Next, Urban needs to ensure that they are not only being transparent in new operations, but also working to inform customers about why sustainable and ethical production is beneficial in the long run. This means publishing the results of supplier audits and telling their customers exactly where their clothes are from. Their goal needs to be focused on educating customers about production, much in the same way as brands like Reformation and Veja are doing in their retail spaces. Customers are unlikely to accept potential price increases without knowing the benefits of ethical production. While it's difficult to estimate an exact number for how much this will cost Urban, it's guaranteed to raise administrative and production costs. According to their 2020 10K report, Urban's gross profit margin was 31.1% of net sales, and selling, general, and administrative expenses accounted for 25% of net sales, roughly $993 million, leaving Urban with 4.2% net income as a percentage of net sales. Urban still has a little bit of room to work with for 2019 at 7.5% net income, but ensuring more sustainable materials will also likely increase the cost of sales, which accounted for 68.5% of net sales, about $2.7 billion. While not completely covering the cost, Urban can work to offset costs by shifting marketing expenses and dumping projects like Nuuly, a rent-the-runway style service that hasn't proved profitable for the brand. The likelihood of price increases for products is high, but Urban has always sold clothes that are more expensive, especially in stores like Free People and Anthropologie. There is a risk of losing guests who are more price sensitive, but Urban can mitigate these costs by decreasing the amount of styles offered and the collections released in a given year. While this does move them away from the fast fashion market, the problem they have comes with operating a fast fashion business to begin with. So, while they may lose their competitive edge in the fast fashion environment, they'd be able to find a new edge in the world of sustainable fashion. In conclusion, Urban Outfitters presents themselves as a progressive brand but doesn't keep to progressive practices. The brand relies on their image to continue to attract progressive customers without making meaningful changes to fix their supply chain. By shifting away from a fast fashion model and investing in an ethical and sustainable business model, Urban will be able to secure their place in the future of fashion. Younger generations are demanding more and more transparency and more sustainability, and if Urban doesn't work to address their problems, they may find themselves on the wrong side of future consumer attitudes. Thank you very much.